Hi, I'm Andrew Berry and welcome to At the Bench. I have a product review for you today and it's this jumping maker from Pepetools. It comes complete with 20 mandrels, so you can make yourself different diameter wires. It comes with various implements which I shall explain as I go through the demonstration. It's got mandrels that range from 2.5mm right up to 12mm, so the variety of diameter jumpings you can make is going to be very varied, and they go up in 0.5mm sizes, so you've got 2.5, 3, 3.5 and so on right up to 12mm. So the first thing we need to do is to set up the drill attachment here to enable us to wind the wire on, and it's very simple. It's got this basically like a drill chuck with a handle on the end that we turn to wind the wire on. So we're going to start off making some jumpings. We are going to start off with the 5mm diameter mandrel. You'll notice that within the kit the mandrels with 2.5mm up to 4mm do not have a hole in the mandrel itself. It's only from 4.5mm and upwards they have the hole. The hole is there to enable you to anchor the wire when you turn the wire onto the mandrel. Below that size, the mandrel really is too thin to put the hole through. So we're simply going to put the mandrel within the devices we have here. So I've got some 1mm diameter wire, silver wire here, and on the one end I'm just going to turn a 90-degree bend like that, and we shall locate that bend into the hole of our mandrel here. And what I'm going to do is simply turn the handle, and I'm going to keep pulling this wire back so it's nice and taut, and as I turn the handle I'm going to slowly move the wire. Now I'm going to keep the coil really tight. This coil here has to be tight. You cannot make this loose, otherwise your jumpings are going to be all different sizes. So as we turn the handle slowly, we'll keep this wire tight and we'll just simply turn the jumpings, or the coil, the wire, onto the mandrel. And every revolution that we make of the handle equates to one jump ring. So I think we shall leave it at that. We've got our cutters here. We're just going to cut off the excess we don't need there. Undo the chuck and remove the mandrel. The coil now won't come off because the L shape that we made earlier is still located in the mandrel. So we get a pair of snips like that. That's a piece of silver that we'll save for later, and we'll just simply pull off the coil. So now with our coil made, we're just going to put the maker to one side and we're going to bring the other items into play. This is the holding device. The top plate is sprung so it springs open, and inside there's a nice V-shaped groove, and the top has a slit down the center. What we will do is put our coil into the V-shaped groove. We will push it up to the stop. There's a little stop here, you can just make it out here. Push it up to the stop, and then we'll push the lid down and turn the knobs. Now we don't want to force this top plate down. The idea is just to hold the coil in place and not to squash it. So I think you can just see the coil in there. We'll just turn that so it holds the coil nice and tight. So the next thing we need to do is to assemble the little circular saw that we've got here on the arbor. I've got a screwdriver here. We're just going to remove the screw from the center of the arbor like that. It's a long screw. Take off the top. And now obviously with the circular saw it'll only cut one way. The blade has an arrow that runs in the direction that needs to go against the arbor itself, like that. So there's the direction that goes against the arbor, like that there. The circular blade won't spin because it's got this little cutout and a peg on the arbor there. We'll line up the other half like that. Oops, daisy, get our screw, and we're going to put that into place. Like that. Make sure that is nice and tight. There. That's our circular saw attachment all sorted out. Next we have the handpiece that the pendant motor handpiece slots into and fastens onto, and the idea you've got this cut out here is so when the circular saw is in position it's not going to be a dangerous lethal weapon, and the top half here will protect the blade. I've got a Fordham pendant motor here, and at the moment it'll only work with this particular handpiece, and that fits into the end very snugly, as you can see. That'll come out. We need to put it on first, as you can see here, and we will then get our arbor and our circular saw. We'll put that into the end like that and tighten it up, and as it is, that is pretty lethal. So this is where the handle comes into play. This comes across like that. As you can see, this part here will protect us from the revolving circular saw. On the outside of the handpiece there's a line etched, and when that circular saw is in line with the etched line on the outside, there are two screw holes, two screws here that we need to tighten up to make sure that this handle is secure with the handpiece. Right, also supplied with the kit is some lubrication, and we need to lubricate this blade before we do any work on it. And we simply run the bar of lubrication and so we need to get the device that we've put our coil into securely on our bench, with the coils up at the end nearest me, and that's where the stop is. We need to locate the hand piece on top of the device like that, and then when we push down on the pedal we need to put it at a full speed, and as it's going we will pull this towards us, and then the circular saw will just cut through the top of that coil, producing, in theory, jump rings. Let's give it a go. We'll always make sure we have eye protection on as well, just in case anything should happen. So let's see how it goes. And there we go. And we've got a nice selection of jump rings perfectly cut. So that's it, a very easy way to make a lot of jump rings quickly, efficiently. You can have as small as 2.5mm internal diameter right up to 12mm, and that's going to be a big boy, that will be. So that's the Pepe jumping maker. I'm Andrew Berry for The Bench. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.